Let me take you back to the summer of 2022 when we discussed the announcement of Phase 5 at SDCC by Marvel Studios. I love the character in WandaVision, but without Wanda, I don't know what I'm actually going to be watching here. That quote, with which I agreed at the time, by the way, was uttered by one of our champions who shall remain nameless, Merv, about Agatha Coven of Chaos, as this show was called back then, when he deemed it his least anticipated project of the just announced Phase 5. What he watched is one of the most brilliant and awesome shows Marvel Studios has ever done. I guess you also get prizes you don't expect at the end of The Witch's Road. This is the review of Champions, and I'm your host, Grandmaster. With me is a powerful panel made up of the finest champions Sakar has to offer. Let me introduce them to you. First up, voice only, Lokismom. How are you?
Enchanted.
Voice only as well, Mr. Lord Deathman.
I'm still magical.
The original, Mr. Taylor First. How are you?
I'm spellbound.
Okay, and
is that the theme?
I don't know. Last but not least, we have the before mentioned Merv. I hope you forgive me, man.
I was bewitched.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Today we're going to talk about episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Agatha All Along. Yeah, last week life got in the way, so we didn't record. So now we're recording 3 episodes all at once. But all the better for us. Before we do, I want to ask you all to help us out. Like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you really can't get enough of us, join our ranks. Go to Sakar at sakar.freeforms.net. Set up an account, join our forum, and you can join our podcast and reviews. Consider this your final warning. After this point, the spoilers are incoming. So if you haven't seen the last 3 episodes yet, why are you clicking on this video, by the way? Then do that first and then check out our review. After that Billy reveal way back in episode 6, our witches face another trial on the road. And there are some more reveals that came along on the road as well. Well, Merv, it's only fair if I start with you because I called you out myself a little bit in my opening statement.
Totally understand.
Those last 3 episodes of Agatha All Along, how did you feel about those?
I personally found them to be amazing. I thought I felt like, I don't want to say they kept getting better because episode 7 in particular was like a highlight, but I thought episode 8 and 9 were also crazy good. And I have to reiterate what I said on the board. I think it stuck the landing better than any other live action show that the MCU has created, and probably most of the movies, honestly. I was infatuated with each of these last 3 episodes for widely different reasons and different character focuses, honestly.
I will let you elaborate later on in the show, of course. Lord Deathman, how about you? What did you think of these last 3 episodes?
Well, I think the panel is well aware of sort of my ambivalent stance on, characters like Wiccan and this corner of the MCU, which involves the occult and witchcraft. I'm usually the science guy. I like to get into the street level action, but there's no denying this show. They've done what I didn't think they could do, which is make me care about characters in a corner of the universe that typically I could take or leave, but this was essential MCU. So for those of you who refuse to pony up for the Disney Plus subscription, I don't know what to tell you. You've missed something substantial in the MCU if you are not watching this show. And we're pretty close to the point where you could just say that this is really transcending genre work, and this feels more like just great television. they stuck the landing, and it's all over the press. I think even deniers of the show have to kind of acknowledge the way they just expertly cruise through these last 3 episodes, twist after twist, drama that's really compelling, engaging. You have to watch it. So yeah, this I'm not going to go ahead and say things like this is better than all the movies, or that it's better than every single Disney Plus show that I've seen. I'm still a huge fan of Loki season 2. But what I will say is that this is an essential and worthy companion piece to WandaVision. They're just lovely bookends for each other.
When you watched episode 8, didn't it feel like the finale of the show? And weren't you like, what are they going to do in episode 9? I mean, an after credit scene about the jump scare Billy got, and you're done, right?
Yeah, I mean, Agatha's buried. She's got pushing up daisies and mushrooms and whatever lovely grave in the backyard of her. I guess what was his name, Ralph's home. But anyway, yeah, you thought at that point it's over with, and we found out who Rio is. She's really death itself. She's not a witch. She's death. She's who Agatha's been bargaining with all along, and so yeah. So where's it going to go? And of course, where else but with William and Billy, and then of course it twisted all back around, and it was really well done. Really well done. Yeah,
No.
Excellent show.
What did you think of the last 3 episodes?
Yeah, they, like I say, it was all the quality and everything was on par with everything we've seen up to this point. I love that we did get to see some closure with at least a few of the characters. Poor Alice, she didn't work. She wound up. She had to go and die and everything. She had to go with death. But yeah, we saw Jen. She was able to regain some of her powers, and of course, the whole point. Agatha was trying to get the coven together so she could just start sucking the power back into herself and build herself back up again. And that wonderful episode, I guess, the last episode where we go back into 1750 and we see her evolution, and then we see why she's, her love for her child and whatnot. That the one thing that she had, that she cared about and that she did love, and that was Nicholas. So yeah, it was very poignant and sad and kind of sad. Yeah, almost, bring a tear to your eye. It was so well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor, you asked for this show, and thank you on behalf of all Marvel fans that you asked for this show. In the beginning of this, when the show started to air, there were the usual people who were screaming, "This show is garbage." Well, the joke's on them, right?
Is, but they're of course still gonna scream it's garbage because they decided that they are going to hate everything Marvel post Endgame, and nothing's gonna shake them from it. So those people are just kind of pointless unless you just want to listen to them for laughs. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't matter how good something is, they'll say it's the worst thing ever. The show is not the worst thing ever. I absolutely loved this whole season. It was brilliantly written. The way everything was tied together, no loose ends. Brilliantly acted, great cast, and just fun from start to finish.
Yeah. I agree. Episode 7 is one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. It was really well written, really well acted, and Paddy Liponi, people, that was awesome. She was amazing. And in the beginning, I was like, what is happening? And when all of a sudden those pieces started to come together, and now I talked to Merv about this on the board. I just have the urge to rewatch it and just see if there's any details I can pick up. And I've seen already a lot of stuff online. I mean, the fact that Agatha knew all along that Billy was Billy Maximoff, because she was when the road actually appeared she was like, "Who did this?" And it could only have been Billy. I mean, it was amazing show. Really, I love it. The final episode, I see some people, and actually in the beginning I was like, why did they put this? But then I start to think about it. You actually see why Agatha is killing all those witches. I mean, she's killing them because she gives the bodies, creates bodies for Rio to take. So she doesn't take her son. So, and then of course she starts after her son. The day they stop killing witches is the day Rio takes her son away. It really is like Faustian stuff going on here, and it's really good. Jack Schaefer, and I'm going to Lord Deathman now for his deep dive, and I think he will agree. Jack Schaefer should be a major producer in Marvel Studios and be a very strong presence for the creation of Phase 5 and 6. Do you agree, Lord Deathman?
I would agree. And even though I'm trying to get out of the habit of kind of deifying these figures that have these great victories creatively as far as the MCU or any fandom goes, I do think giving Jack Schaefer a seat at the table for other types of projects, if she's interested, willing to do so, wouldn't be a bad idea at all. I think she's masterfully taken genre work and used it as a lens to examine a lot of deeper issues about femininity, about how sisterhood works, about I mean, you really don't get much better than this, and I'm not going to deconstruct this academically. After all, it is only trivial entertainment, but it's the type of show that's really I've been thinking about it long after watching the spectacle of it, and once you kind of assemble the whole tapestry that she's put together, you're like, wow, there really isn't a subject of kind of modern feminism that she didn't touch in this series in one way or another. So I too thought that episode 7 was just an amazingly strong piece of television, a piece of writing, piece of entertainment. The way it paid off so many weird things that you were seeing as the series went along. Really, and it was just an incredibly poignant story about living this life in a non-linear fashion and kind of sticking the landing towards the end, which really is the beginning. I mean, that's the type of thematic thinking that you might get out of a novel and not necessarily out of an episode of television. The acting is just sublime. It's the chef's kiss there. The writing was beautiful. I loved moving through the different time periods. And again, the peril and the jeopardy and the special effects all sort of act as a nice sweetener to it. But at the core of it, there was a message about how we live our lives as human beings and how it gets messy. So really adored that episode. The eighth episode, I think, in terms of giving the fans what they wanted and giving us this great twist and bringing us to the denouement and the conclusion. Great special effects work, great acting across the board there. The reveals about Death herself. Yeah, all the pistons were just moving with this show, and I think a lot of people are saying, hey, this was great quality television and all the episodes were just as strong as the previous ones, but I have to say these last 3 ones were just completely on another level for me. It could have almost been like watching a different TV show that was better than the one that you had seen before, which was also pretty good. It's really even hard to pick out standout moments because it really all did stand out. And I haven't really said anything like that probably since watching Andor, which I thought was also a brilliant piece of first season television in the Star Wars world. Um, yeah, the last season, the decision to kind of put that prologue there, at first it felt weird to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, like like you were kind of like jazzed up and on the sugar high from the previous episode, and you might want to just have seen some kind of a continuation or a setup where we put Agatha into a new situation, or because I'm like her ghostly appearance in episode 8 kind of matched her comic book version of herself with the gray hair and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay, they're setting something different up. But then the last episode, again, you defy expectation in the best possible way. We get a prologue, right, which explains the relationship between Death and Agatha. And again, I just think it was brilliantly done. It's always a great treat to get a child actor that doesn't annoy the crap out of me, and this actor did a fantastic job. Again, the writing was strong and solid. We see where how Agatha's villainy is kind of shaped. I'm not one that necessarily thinks that we have to always go look at the past trauma of someone to kind of understand why they're behaving. I mean, sociopathy is sociopathy. I don't always want to get at the root of it, but this one was a fairly well done journey, or look back on that kind of thing. And yeah, I can only give Jack Schaefer her flowers for being smarter than the genre, but in a way that's not condescending, opening it up and recognizing the comic book genre for what it is, which is it has the ability to illuminate a light on all corners of the human condition, which is what I believe about comic book literature. And this just proves my point.
Taylor, we've been all raving about these episodes, but you are a critical thinker. So, do you have any nitpicks, negatives about the last 3 episodes of Agatha All Along?
The last 3 episodes, no.
Okay.
I really can't think of any.
No. Okay. So, any highlights for you?
Well, like Lord Deathman said, it was all just brilliant. I loved in episode 7 how all of the actions by Lilia suddenly made sense, and it's just that a hallmark of that the great writing is while you're watching something and you're constantly going, oh, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I actually thought of you when I watched episode 7. I didn't comment this on the board, but episode 7 of Agatha All Along was everything that the last episode of Star Trek Discovery season 1 wanted to be. Where you get
exactly, but yeah, that was brilliant. The connections to I mean, this show is a spin-off of WandaVision, and it still has that connective tissue with WandaVision. Of course, Wanda's hex was a result of her subconscious sitcom raised life. That was her, the pop culture that shaped her was sitcoms. And for Billy, it's horror movies and witchcraft and magic that shaped his subconscious, and that's what he manifested in this road. And it was, again, all that, of course, is revealed in the 8th episode, I guess, is where we get all that finally. The fact that Agatha herself, the whole first 2 episodes. Well, the first episode, of course, was Agatha breaking the hex and Billy helping her get out of the hex. But as soon as she got out of the hex, her first thoughts, we now know, was find me some witches so I can suck their power and get my power back and kill them. That's why she collected those 3 witches together to kill them. That was her plan, was to murder those people. Get them mad at you so they shoot at you and you can steal their power and kill them. Agatha is just evil. And even after watching the gut-wrenching episode 8 about her son dying and everything, we do know that all of that, the flashback in WandaVision, where she killed her 7 sisters or whoever they were and her mother, that all happened before she ever had Nicholas Scratch. So it's not the loss of Nicholas Scratch that turned her into a murderer. She was a murderer long before that. But the shaping of where she is today, of course, goes back to what happened with her son and with Rio and everything that happened after his death. So what I'm thinking is, like, when the hex happened in WandaVision, she immediately went there because she said, wow, that witch has power that I could really use. And that whole show was her scheming to try to get Wanda's power, because I'm guessing by this time, well, we know by this time she had become pretty famous in the witch culture, and everyone hated her and was afraid of her and knew she was a killer. So no one was going to fall for her tricks at that point. But she knew that Wanda wasn't part of witch culture, or may not have been as aware of her as everyone else, being as young as she is. So again, the way this all ties together as one story is really amazing, and all the acting. Um, was it the eighth? First of all, thank God they dropped eighth and ninth episodes at the same time, because that would have been painful to wait another week after that eighth episode. In the eighth episode, of course, Rio wants her payment, and there's the discussion of who's going to sacrifice their lives. One of you's got to go. And of course, Agatha, for a moment there, shows her true colors. He said he wants to do it, so go ahead and take him. And then, of course, the part in the last challenge where they're in the basement with the lights overhead, and exploring Williams or Billy's powers, and him looking for Tommy, and the flashes to the child drowning, and that line of, am I killing this boy to save my brother? And I'm not sure what the answer to that was. I'm not even sure if that boy died or not at this point. They weren't totally clear on that, but I'm thinking somebody died, and Tommy's probably in somebody's body at this point. But anyway, just the acting of it all, and just the way it was all executed so flawlessly, so brilliantly. I mean, the shot where Rio cuts the backdrop of the road and leaves, showing that she knew all along that this. And now you go back and watch her again, and her reaction to everything that was going on. She knew all along it was all fake. And of course, we find out that not only we thought we talked about it throughout the episodes that, I don't think Agatha ever actually walked this road before. Well, yeah, not only did she never walk the road never existed, which makes everything so much clearer. And again, that's another one of those, oh, now I know why she said this and why she did that, and why. Again, the way it tied the whole season together was all just. I mean, what could I just keep saying the same thing over and over, but it was all just brilliant. And it's great that the MCU is so vast and can do so many different things. We can have Agatha All Along, we can have Black Widow, Iron Man, Avengers, Werewolf by Night, Deadpool, and Wolverine, and they're all in one shared universe, and they can all coexist, and parts can come together at different times, and parts never have to cross with any other parts, and it's still just a bevy of entertainment.
Yeah. Lokismom.
Mhm. Yeah, I was just totally agreeing with everything that Taylor, first one, has said. So, yeah, and then that scene where Audrey Plaza takes the knife. Oh, it was just, there was something so gothic about that. I mean, like Grand Guignol, however you call that, very way back in the Victorian era type horror. But yeah, I did like that whole thing there at the end where I got the Usual Suspects type vibe, where all of a sudden he's looking around the room, and it's all starting bing bing bing, and everything's starting to tie together. And of course that goes back to what the character in that movie was, Verbal Kent, who was the unreliable narrator, which is what you always have to when your story is really 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 good. Lots of times you don't stop to think, well, is this true or not? And I think this is what the whole, sort of the spice at the end was. In addition to all the other things, it was more than that. But yeah, it was really well done. I just really appreciated it.
Mm. Any complaints about these last three episodes, or are you in agreement with Taylor and Lord Netman that it's actually just brilliant and good and well done?
Yeah, really well done. I think, like I said, in the parts it was cutesy. I think so much of the song, the musical numbers, it worked out. But I think, I don't know that so much of that added to the entire series. But overall, yeah, I mean, it was. I don't have a lot of complaints at all. It's like I say, it's part of the MCU. I think it's a big tent. We can have these types of stories in addition to all the hardware and guys shooting each other with lasers and stuff like that, we can do magic too, because like I say, that's definitely a part of it. And
Mhm.
that's where some of the stones, when you go back to thinking about all the gems and all that ties into these, I guess, forces, the power that these particular gems or at least the forces can be tapped into. And so it kind of all works together. It weaves, as someone says, it all weaves together in the end.
Mhm. So I can conclude you really loved Agatha all along.
I did, absolutely, yeah.
Mm.
I don't say love too often, but I will say I did love this particular series very
Mm.
much.
Mm. Merv, I have a feeling Disney Plus is setting us up for a wonderful trilogy. WandaVision, Agatha All Along, Vision Quest, which starts filming next summer, I believe, which probably will deal with, well, Vision and Billy, Tommy, stuff like that. What do you think? Looking forward to Vision Quest now, or is it your
If
least anticipated project?
maybe I'll strike twice with oh yeah, I'm not even gonna watch Vision Quest. It's gonna be terrible. No, I mean, I love the connective tissue between the WandaVision and Agatha, and if Vision Quest continues that idea, yeah, I'm absolutely on board for it. I'm not going to doubt them anymore. It's not. They've earned my
Okay.
trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I will let you do your deep dive, Lord Deathman had a small comment. I hope it's small.
It is. It is. Just wanted to say that uh, Schaefer came out and officially said that she did not have the time to be involved with Vision Quest, which is unfortunate. It would have been great to have her sort of consult on that last part of the trilogy. But Terry Matalas is running Vision Quest, and I have complete faith in his ability to give the fans something they might want.
Yeah, I absolutely hope so. He finishes the job. Merv, continue.
Yeah, I don't have. I can't think of any complaints at the moment about these final 3 episodes. So I'll just go ahead and praise them, just like everyone else. Episode 7, again, the revelation of the way Lilia lives her life or views time is fantastic, and it's very well done too. Like, we understand what's going on almost at the rate she does. So the further the episode gets, like, the more confident and secure she is in the destination that she's going to have, or the fate that she's dealt. And then probably my favorite little bit in that is the kicker, where right before her death or right after, or whatever you want to call it, she goes back to being a kid again. And it's almost like this circular idea of, like, is she going to live her whole life again? And it's this big wheel, the way time works. And I don't know, but it was a great, like, send off for that episode. I thought it's like it takes her, what could be a sad death, into like this nice little nugget of she's a kid again. It's fantastic. Episode 8, I'll just say that The Usual Suspects was one of my favorite movies for years. So everything was great about the episode, but like the icing on the cake was the Usual Suspects style ending, where Billy realizes that he was Kaiser Soze the whole time, and that was just fantastic. And if there's another piece of icing on the cake, it's that Aubrey Plaza won as Death was fantastic. I love the reveal of her as Death in episode 7. I love everything in episode 8 regarding her. I love just the way she looked as Death, in all forms, whether it's the half
It was
skull
makeup,
face.
huh? The skull face was makeup. It was
That
not CGI.
that's actually what she looks like. The Aubrey Plaza is the mask. No, but she was fantastic, and she made out with Catherine Hahn for like 5 minutes. It felt like, I don't know. Maybe I paused it, but that was all great. In the little things too in that episode, where, like,
Actually, that kiss was a callback to episode 1, where she said, where Aubrey said, Death said, "You can take some of my power." to Agatha, and Agatha says, "You know that would kill me." Then she actually takes her power, or at least some of it, in that kiss, and she actually dies. So that was, when you talk about those kind of callbacks, that's why I have the urge to rewatch it. But sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. The kiss of death, so to speak. Which even the little thing where Agatha dies and is immediately turned into like a mushroom garden or a flowery garden or whatever it was. Like just the visuals of that were fantastic to me. And even the little comedic moments with the neighbors where they're like, let's just go inside. Like Westview is a horrible place to live.
They've been through a lot.
and again, like everyone else, I wasn't really sure. That felt like a finale to me. Episode 8 felt like a finale. So when we get to, and then the reveal happened, the Kaiser Soze part, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, what's going to happen next? And then episode 9, starting with like the prologue or the flashback 200 years or however long. I wasn't sure how that was going to go either, and it wound up I wound up loving it like so much. The fact that Agatha and her son kind of make up the road together, and the fact that it's used as a con again just makes all the other, she knows it's a con. There is no road. This is all just a story that's made up. But it created this thing where I never questioned the road, coming into it. You'd think it would be obvious that the son of Wanda would be able to create this alternate reality or change reality. In looking back, it should be obvious, but because so many other characters in the show have heard of the road because of Agatha's con for the last 250 years or whatever, it made it all seem like, yeah, this is got to be a thing. Maybe that's the first time Agatha went through it, but it's clearly got to be a thing. And that revelation that it was all a con all along, but it had this, lore-like structure around it, I thought was brilliant. And then I also loved that it doesn't redeem Agatha. Like Agatha is still a horrible person. She's still a villain, but it shows her soft spot, which even the most evil villains can have a soft spot. She's not pure evil, she's not the incarnation of total evil, but she is a villain and she is evil and she's doing horrible things and she's killed so many people probably. In this doesn't redeem her, and even her sacrifice to save Billy in a moment of, I don't know if you want to call it weakness or admission of her own guilt. I feel like whenever he called out her, is this how your son died? That just triggered an instant moment of, I got to do things different this time. But until that second, she was ready to leave Billy. She wasn't going to turn back. There was no grand plan for her to turn around. She made that moment because Billy got in her head and convinced her that, not convinced her, but reminded her that, is this how your son died? And really brought probably all those feelings of emotion out of her, and she just decided, okay, I got to do something different this time. And then we even see that later on, as a ghost, she's still looking for her way back. She's not willing to go to the afterlife. She's just I'll figure out a way. There's got to be some other book out there that I can use. And I just thought it all wrapped it up real well. And it was a great way of delivering information that didn't ruin the information that I was about to receive. The last 3 episodes gave me the perfect amount of information to make me go, oh, and then the next scene I was like, oh, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. It was delivered in such perfection that I just have nothing but applause for this show right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think I can get any negatives out of you, you lot. So, you know what? I'm just going to move on to a rating. I let you guys decide how you want to rate this, all 3 episodes together or separately. But I'm gonna start with you, Lokismom.
I'll just go ahead and give it one fell swoop of a 9.5.
9.5. Okay. Taylor?
10.
10.
Each of the last 3 episodes, and if we're doing the season, 10.
10. 10s across the board, people. Lord Deathman?
I am also forced to give this a 10. Yeah, 10 for the last 3 episodes, and a 10 for the series overall.
Merv.
I'll give these last 3 episodes a 10 for sure. And as a season overall, I'll just give it a 9.5, just because in the middle I did feel like maybe we were spinning wheels just a hair, but then they took me by surprise with the last 3+ episodes. So 9.5 overall, 10 for the episodes.
Yeah, I'm with Taylor and Lord Deathman here. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Absolutely brilliant. This is what I put it. I don't know where I put it, but I said something like, "This may not be the show we wanted, but it is the show we needed." This is really good, and again, thank you, Taylor, for asking for the show. That will conclude this review of Champions for episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Agatha All Along. We hope you have enjoyed our discussion today. If you did, help us out, like and share this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you really want more of us, join at sakar.freeforms.net. We would love it if you do that. You can check out our other review series currently running for the Penguin, as well as a new episode of the Star Trek Project. We start to discuss the next generation, so season 1 is up, people. For now, I thank you all, also on behalf of our champions, and wish you to be magical. Bye.